Marlene Motivates, and you are tuned into your dose of positivity. Yes, everybody. I thought I'd do a little bit of a pop up. I'm not going to be on here for very long, um, but I wanted to give you a little bit of some motivation and inspiration on today. Um, and the question that I put out there. Do the right thing even when it's hard. The question that I have for everybody. Oh, let me go into my introduction. I'm jumping ahead. Hi, everybody. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, your channel for motivation, inspiration, and positivity. All of those things, mindset support. So if you're new here, welcome. Become a part of the Motivators family by simply subscribing. Shout out to all my mods. Shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate every single one of you. So everybody, let's get into this topic. I'm not going to be on here long, like I said, but I wanted to talk about do the right thing even when it's hard. Now, one thing I'm going to say to everybody is that it's not an easy thing to do the right thing. And I'm going to talk about some of those times. Sometimes it's the hardest to be loyal to people when people are not being loyal to you. And it could be in romantic relationships. It could be in friendship. It could be on the job. It could be on social media. It's not always easy to do the right thing when you see the people around you, they're doing the wrong things. They're doing you dirty. But one of the things, hi, Miss Tamika, how are you doing? Happy Thursday. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Happy Thursday, everybody. And I wanted to say this, do the right thing even when it's difficult, even when it's hard, even when nobody is watching, because I'll tell you something, what goes around comes around. What you do in the dark always comes to the light. I promise you. And when you do the right thing, even if people can't see it, you'll know. One of the best things about doing the right thing, even when nobody is looking, even when it's difficult, is one thing that nobody can ever take from you is your self-respect. Even if other people aren't doing the right thing, you will always maintain your self-respect. You're not going to have a guilty conscience. So even I know there's many times where you just want to do things to people. You want to hurt them. You want to get back at them. It's not the easiest thing to do the right thing all the time. It's not. It's not easy to do the right thing. It's very difficult. It's very frustrating. And it seems sometimes like the people who do wrong are winning in life. It's like the ones that do cutthroat things, underhanded things, disrespectful, manipulating things, or they buy their way to the top. They run over people. They commit all kinds of wrongs in order to be able to achieve. So yes, while a person may be meeting with success and they may be seem to appear that things are going right with them, but trust me, everything you do in the dark comes to the light. Everything, even if you had an opportunity to do the right thing and you didn't, everything we do comes back to us. So I want to say this to everybody. I know that it's not always the easiest thing, to tell the truth. It's not the easiest to be kind to people when people get on our nerves, but doing the right thing is always the best thing to do. It's always the best thing for you. It's going to benefit you in the long run, because one thing about the truth is the truth never stops being the truth. But the truth is not a comfortable thing. Sometimes to tell the truth, it could hurt somebody's feelings. But you have to learn to live with your own self. And I always want to say, at the end of the day, I always want to feel good about the woman that I show up to be. So even when, say, in romantic relationships and friendships, on the job, on social media, with your children, with your relatives, in all things, keep your self-respect in all things. Maintain your decorum. And another thing about it is when you do the right thing, you can sleep well at night. You don't have to worry about a guilty conscience. You don't have to worry about who you harmed. You don't have to worry about if people are going to try to get back at you. You don't have to worry about those things because you're doing the right thing. Hey, Realist One, how are you doing? Happy Thursday. That's one thing that we don't have to worry about. When you do the right thing, you don't have to, come up with something. Oh, what did I say? What did I say to this person? What did I say to that person? When you tell the truth, you don't have to make up a story. There's no storyline because it never changes, because it is what it is. And I get it, because sometimes we don't want to say everything, right? We don't. We don't want to say the right thing all the time. Hi, Kelly. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Thursday to you. I'll tell you something. In this system, sometimes it's set up that your life will be better if you do something underhanded, if you throw somebody under the bus, if you backstab somebody, if you sell your soul. It would be easier. It would be easier. It really would. It would be easier if you do the wrong things, but nothing is like the peace that you have when you know that you treat people right. And I'll tell you something. When I have had the opportunity to get even and to get back at somebody and I didn't, you know how good that feels? And they're afraid, they're nervous. But when you have maturity, when you have peace, when you have love for yourself, I always say there's certain things I don't worry about it, because when it comes back to you and you start to get back the things that you've done to me or other people, what is coming for you is going to be way better than anything that I could ever do. So don't worry about the people who mislead, try to, do wrong things to you or have done wrongs to you, the ones that have backstabbed you, the ones that have broken trust, the ones that you thought you could depend on, and then they leave you hanging. Don't worry about them. And I'm not saying it because it's an easy thing to say. No, it's not. It's hard to, deal with other people because some people make it almost impossible to deal with them. Some people are very frustrating. They say one thing and they do another. Oh yeah, I'll be there, and they don't show up. They don't call. Nothing. And then later on, oh yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't make it the other day. But they wouldn't have said nothing if they didn't run into you or whatever the case may be. Or a few days later, oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to be there or something, and just like it's nothing, and they just go on about their life. So one thing about this life is you have to learn how to depend on yourself. You have to learn to have thick skin and do not let people get to you. Okay? When you learn how to be self-reliant, independent, you learn that I can do things on my own. Learning to walk to the beat of your own drums and to not allow other people to get you down. Don't let other people get you down. Don't let other people disrupt your peace. Do not do it. And I've seen a lot of people, they sell their soul for money. They sell their soul for advancement in companies or business, or, they're up and down with other people, what I'm talking about, doing very sketchy things, stepping out on their marriage or their romantic relationship. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I always say, even if you have the opportunity, even if you can get away with it, it's not worth it. If you know you're not getting along with somebody, if you know you're ready to move on, then be respectful enough to whoever it is to say, you know what, this isn't working out. I think we should separate. Keep your dignity. Keep your dignity. Keep your self-respect. Okay? I'm going to answer this poll question here. Is it difficult to do the right thing? 73% said yes. 27% says no. I personally think it's not easy to do the right thing. It's not. I'll tell you that, because people who say that it's easy to do, I don't go. I think doing the right thing is the hardest. That's my personal belief. Some people say it's easy. It's easier to do the right thing, but I'm being honest with myself. I personally feel that it is very difficult to do the right thing. Hi, Trina. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I think it's very difficult to do the right thing. Hi, Boss Life Online. How are you doing? Welcome. I think it's very hard to do the right thing. I think it's very hard. But, to each his or her own. We're very respectful of each other and each other's opinions. So if it's hard for you, still do the right thing. If it's easy for you, still do the right thing. There's a few things that I want to talk about before I get out of here, because I just want to do a quick pop-up. I wanted to say, even when other people aren't looking, even when you have an opportunity to get even for the things, because let me tell you something, my mom used to always tell me, and I didn't believe it until it happened to me. Sometimes the people that hurt you the most later on, they are the very ones that will be depending on you. And it will feel good. And when that opportunity shows itself, my mom always said, baby girl, show them really who you are. Even when at that time they may come back to you on their knees and saying they're sorry for what they did, show them who you are. See, one thing about it is, yes, while they may have done things to you and hurt you, it's going to feel good that, remember the time when I was depending on you and I needed you and you weren't there for me? See, I'm going to show you what real love represents. I'm going to show you what maturity really represents. See, that's when you show people who you are. It's not about what other people do and say. And I don't mean in a cause or somebody was taking advantage of you or disrespecting you, or it's a red flag situation or manipulation and drama. No, I don't mean that. I mean when it's a simple thing, when you have an opportunity to do a kind deed. Should always display kindness when it's in the power of your hand. Never hold back from helping another person. You show people who you really are. Say, man, they're better than I am. You show people what love really represents. For me, I always call that faith in action. Depending on what your belief system is, I always call that faith in action. You can always make a claim to say who you are. You could say you're loving. You could say you're a kind person. You could say you represent this and you represent that. But when the rubber meets the road and now you have to really prove it, and that's what I'm talking about, motivators, when now it's your turn to prove that you are loving. Now it's your time to prove that you are kind. Now it's your time to prove that you can be supportive. Will you? See, that's the question. And it's hard. It's hard. It's difficult, because when somebody does something to you, the first thing, now when it's your turn, and you're the one that has the power to help or assist, it's very easy to say, well, you didn't help me and you didn't do this. No, don't do that, motivators. Always do the right thing. Hi, Blaze. How are you doing? Peace and abundance, Marlene, and everyone in the building. Hope all is in good spirits today. To answer the question, yes, it's difficult to do what's right when doing wrong is far too easy. You said a mouthful right there, Blaze. It is so difficult to do right, but it seems like doing wrong is so easy. It's like when nobody around is looking, oh, I could get away with this. But then how will it feel with your conscience? How will you feel? Will you sleep well at night, or will you be tossing and turning? Will you always think, well, did they know? Be careful what you do in the dark, because I always want to say later on, maybe one day, maybe if you get laid off, maybe you have a financial difficulty or problem, maybe you're going through a certain storm in your life. You never know when everyone would just come out and say, I want to help you, I want to help you. They'll come out from everywhere. But if you did a lot of underhanded and dirty things, that may be the time when say, when I asked you to help me, you never helped me. You never know when when everything can shift in life. While you could be in a really good position right here and right now, everything can change in a moment. You could develop a health problem. Anything can happen to us. So don't think because I'm okay now, I'll be okay forever. It doesn't work that way. Rilla says it can definitely be hard. Trina says it can be hard depending on what it is. Rilla says especially when dealing with differences pertaining to other people. Yeah, especially when it comes to difference of opinions. And one thing that I like about dealing with different people on a regular basis is you find out who is a mature person or who is a person who is just controlling. Yeah. And there's going to be controlling people all around us, right? It's controlling people on social media. It's controlling people on the job. I think it's back. Yeah, there's controlling people on social media. There's controlling people everywhere you look. We can't stop that. But what we always have the power to do is we have the power to do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. Even when nobody is looking. Trina says, I tell my son, always do the right thing no matter what, even when no one is watching. Yep. Hey, Shay, how are you doing? Welcome in. Yes, so true. Always display kindness. Always, always, always. You know, especially if it's something simple, like someone, just doing a kind deed, opening the door for someone, letting someone go ahead of you if they only have one or two items and you have a full cart. Sometimes it's simple to do something kind or to do something nice, but other times when it's difficult, when someone gets on your nerves or someone has an abrasive personality and you have to display kindness. And something that I've been learning recently is displaying kindness to ourselves is to set boundaries. And I didn't know that that was a part of displaying kindness. See, first, we have to learn to be kind to our self-motivators. You got to learn that while I do display kindness, I'm willing to be kind to other people, but I got to remember I got to be my own best friend. I got to represent love inside of me. I have to maintain my love, and how I maintain my love is being kind to me, knowing my own boundaries, knowing what I can do, and knowing what's my lane and what's not. I'm very happy to say I know my lane. I don't have to step outside of it. I was like, nope, that's not for me. And for me, that's being kind to myself because I don't drain myself. I don't go outside of my character. I'm not putting on a facade. I'm just being organically and authentically myself. Yes. Yes, by our fruits, we are known. Oh, yes, you want to give back to them, but try to do the right thing. That's right. We always strive to do the right thing. Hi, Miss Eunice. How are you doing? Welcome. Hey, James Money. How are you doing? Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate you all being here. So, I just wanted to come in and to say this. While it may seem like such a big deal, and it is a big deal, but I want to say, be a good example to your children. Be a good example to a spouse and your siblings. Show them what love really means. And I know that people talk about all the time, like, I love my family, I love my spouse, I love my significant other, I love my friends. But what if that love is representing patience? Sometimes the way that we can be kind to other people is by giving people the benefit of the doubt. That's something that I've recently had to learn. Don't just go and jump to a conclusion. They meant to hurt me. They're trying to get after me. They're jealous of me. Hold on, I have to say, hold on, Marlene, hit pause. Sometimes we don't know all of the circumstances of everything, do we? Mm-mm. You don't know what that person could be going through. You don't know what that person could be handling mentally. We just don't know, okay? But the most important thing is that sometimes just pause. Sometimes pull back for a little bit, okay? Pull back for a little bit and say, that's especially if it's somebody that's weird, that's strange, that's outside of their character. Don't automatically, especially listening to other people and they're trying to feed things into your head. Oh yeah, you should get them. That's not right. You shouldn't let them talk to you like that. Don't let other people influence you to be negative or influence you to be unkind or stop you from being patient. First, as adults, we have to check ourselves. And this is when I go through the checklist in my mind. What kind of relationship do we have? They've always been kind to me. They've always been honest. Could it be that I am jumping to a conclusion? See, right there, that's maturity. And say, let me pause for a little bit and then come back on the side and say, hey, so and so has happened. Is this what I think it is or no? And sometimes it could be just what we thought it was. They didn't mean to do it or whatever. It was a lack of communication. There's a lot of things that as mature people, especially people who are trying to be motivated, people who are trying to be good examples and role models to others, first, we have to be a good role model. First, we have to display kindness. First, love has to start with us for us to give love to other people. Yes, it's a lesson, you know. You could tell your children all the time, love, be kind. But what about when your kid does something that's unkind? Are you going, and you're, that's the time you take a deep breath. And remember, you know, I like to remember back. Remember when you were young and you did some of those same things? Will you display the kindness that you received when you were younger? You know, a lot of times we forget when we get out of those situations. We forget, oh, remember when I was younger? Or remember when I was just starting out? Remember, you know, one day I'll get older, you know? Sometimes when the shoe doesn't fit for us, or we're not in that situation, or you don't know what somebody's going through. Say you're talking about somebody who's a single parent, somebody who is older than you, or somebody who is going through something that we just don't understand. It's hard for us to be supportive and patient of something that we don't comprehend. But those are the times where we ask questions. Those are the times where we ask people what they need. See, that's doing the right thing. Sometimes it's not about what we need or what we like or what we understand, but when we are mature, when we love ourselves, when we ask ourselves, how would I like to be treated in this situation? That's maturity. It's some food for thought. Am I the person to others that I would want to get back? Am I giving what I want to get? So I had to pause on that for a little bit. Am I a representative of what I want other people to give me? It's just something to, you know, think about maybe when you're in your quiet time later, for you to chew on that and to let that sink in, because everybody has something that they're going through, every single person. And it may look to seem like some people, because they may look good, they may have the financial means or whatever, that you don't understand the level of things that they may be struggling with, because people don't always tell you what they're going through. But that doesn't mean that every single person doesn't have a battle. Yes, they do. Every single person has a battle. Every single person has something that they're facing. And I wanted to say this. What another person is facing is not bigger than yours. Just like we want to be someone to be patient with us, someone to be kind to us, someone to be understanding to us, when the shoe is on the other foot now. And now it's our turn to be kind, to be patient, to be loving, to be understanding, to be compassionate, to give others the benefit of the doubt. The question is, will we? Will we do what we say? Will we do what we want to receive? Yeah. It's not always the easy thing because personality clashes. Some people's personality is a little bit abrasive, or some people you don't understand why they're angry. But sometimes the things that we see in other people, it's not for us to understand. You don't have to understand why a person is that way. All you need to do is just show up and give that person love. Show up and do the right thing. Show up and be patient. Show up and be kind. Show up and be loving. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay? It costs you nothing to just take a deep breath and be kind. It costs you nothing to be respectful of other people. And sometimes that respect means I'm going to step away so I don't say something wrong, so I don't scream, so I don't embarrass you. So you have to know yourself. But, display some mercy, display some kindness, display some compassion to other people. And don't just assume, oh, they're lazy, or they're this, or they're that. You don't know. We think we know sometimes. We jump to the conclusion. We make the assumptions. Oh, they're going through this and this and this, and they could help this and they could. You don't know that. You don't know another person's situation until you are going through it. And everybody does not handle things the same way. But one thing that we can always do is display kindness. One thing that we always can do is be compassionate. Everybody needs compassion. Everybody needs love, but I get it, and I'm not saying, oh, be compassionate to somebody who takes advantage of you and disrespects you. And no, I don't mean that. That's when you have to make a decision to choose yourself and to display love to yourself, because nobody deserves to be taken advantage of and disrespected. But at the same time, when it's not that situation, when could I just display a little bit of kindness, pull back a little bit, let them have their say, ask some questions, be kind, be a listening ear. You never know. Sometimes just listen to another person. You would never know that a person would go through certain things. So don't try to be quick to think that we know a person just because of maybe their personality, maybe not what we are. And sometimes it may be us stepping into, I don't really understand them, but I'll display a little bit of kindness. I'll back up a little bit and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And I know it takes maturity, because there's sometimes certain people, they get on your nerves and you just want to pop off at them. You want to say something slick. You want to get back at them. You want to do what they do, get some revenge. Yeah. And while that's easy, it's easy to do the wrong thing. It's hard to do the right thing. But guess what? At the end of the day, you will be so proud of yourself. So that's a big deal. Be proud of yourself. Be who you deserve to be. And you deserve to be a great example, And it's not about if your parents or whoever and people around you don't do the right thing. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about us motivators. Will you choose to be a good example? Will you choose to be better than your ancestors? Will you choose to display love? Will you choose to be kind, even if it may mean you gotta, maybe let them have their way? It doesn't always have to be a controlling thing. We don't always have to get our way. It doesn't have to always be what we want or what we like. It's all right. Let other people have the benefit of the doubt as well. It's not easy. Let me tell you that. It's not easy to be kind. It's not easy to do the right thing, but it's always the best thing to do. Okay, I'm going to read some of these comments. Eunice says, we want to show mercy and grace to others because eventually we're going to need mercy and grace towards us. Yes. Yeah, not everybody understands that, right? Everybody doesn't understand that everybody is going to be on the receiving end or the giving end. People don't understand that if you want to have this, you have to do that. But, sometimes people have to be humbled. Some people have to be humble before they get it. And it's all right. But everybody has to have their times. Sometimes you'll be in the power of your hand to be able to help assist financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually another person. Anytime you can assist another person, do that. It takes nothing to say a person looks nice. It takes nothing to show somebody a smile. It takes nothing to give people their flowers and to tell them what they're good at. Make people feel good about themselves. You never know if that person could be on the last leg and thinking of unaliving themselves. And it may seem like, oh no, it's not that serious, Marlene, but you don't know what that person is thinking at that moment. You never know if that's why the person is so angry, because of the amount of pressure and stress they're under, the sadness, the pain in their heart. They may be going through a loss. They may be in pain physically in their body, dealing with an ailment. You never know what another person is dealing with and going through. So on today's topic, motivators, I want to say to all of you, I know that it's hard. I know that it's difficult. I know it's so easy to do the wrong thing. It's so easy when someone does something for us to snap back at them. It's so easy to judge another person. It's so easy to think we know. It's so easy to make assumptions. But I'm telling you, what goes around comes around. Put out good into this world. And even though sometimes you're not going to always get back immediately, but in the long run, you're going to have a track record of kindness. People will know to help you. You may not ask for help, but you never know that one time where you don't have to ask. They'll just show up and show out for you. It's all worth it, everybody. It's all worth it at the end of the day. Yes, it may be hard. Blaze says, I mean, everything circles back to you. So that's why it's best to think before you act. Some actions can be forgiven, but some actions can't. And it's true, in our immaturity, we may do things, or you may say things, and whoever said sticks and stones may break bones, but words will never hurt me, that's a lie, because words will stay with you forever. So if you have nothing nice to say, who heard that when they were a kid? If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So that may be something that, we put in our reserve, okay? Okay? Sometimes I have to tell myself, Marlene, just be quiet. Zip your mouth, because I already know what I want to say. But I have to remind myself that's not kind, that's not loving, that's jumping to a conclusion. You don't know, you don't understand. That's not your battle. Because there's certain things that we try to take on and assume as our battle, that we have to fix people, and when it's our family, I got to fix them. They got to do the right thing. And just because we love people, it doesn't mean they're ready to receive what we're putting out there. You just be a good person. You do the right thing, and then everything will fall into place. Okay? Because we want to be known for our actions, not our words. Words are cheap. It's easy to say nice things, for most. It's easy to say, oh, I love you, I care about you, but what about displaying it? What about being nice to your neighbor? What about that? Hi, good morning, hello. What about when we offend somebody, we say or do something, but I should not have said that. What about apologizing, being quick to say, I'm sorry, or that was unkind, please forgive me? What about that? That's something that's always in season for us to display. Being compassionate, being humble, being honest, putting out there what we want to get back. Yes, Trina, that is a lie. Words do hurt. Eunice says, if you don't receive love, kindness, mercy, forgiveness from others, you're going to need it from God. None of us is perfect, including ourselves. Yes, nobody is perfect. Eunice says, I try to forgive everyone, but that doesn't mean that I have to forget. I don't have a relationship with them. Yes, so the love that we can display, the kindness that we can display to other people, it may mean I forgive you so that I could live my life. That's something that I had to learn for myself. It's not that I'm mad, not that I hate them, but some people, when they do something to you, they disappointed you, they hurt you, they broke your heart in a million pieces. I'm not holding any anger or resentment against you, but I can never trust you again. So, and you wish them the best. You wish people well, but it's not going to be with me. Period. That's called having self-respect. That's called having standards. So don't let people run all over you. Blaze says, very true. That's why I do my best to be mindful and don't speak unless I actually have something to say. Not everything deserves a response. Be better than yesterday. And what a great thought for us to end this topic and discussion on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. Thank you so much. If you have not already, hit the like, subscribe to this channel. I do motivations over here now on a pop-up. It has to come into my spirit. It has to be something and then I just talk about it. I just talk about it. It has to be something that like, yes, and my spirit has to say it, and I have to get confirmation, and I'm like, yes, talk about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this is something that it can apply to somebody, because we are all works in progress. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, your channel for motivation, inspiration, positivity, and mindset shifting. I thank you for tuning in. If you're watching in the replay, leave me a comment in the comment section below. You know I love the comments. And feel free to subscribe to this channel. Join my channel membership. My channel membership starts at $1.99, and you'll be a part of the Motivators Club, where we do some things over there that my members know what it is. So you all are welcome. Thank you for joining me, and be kind even when it's hard. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and you know what we say over here. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.